The first downs was something like 19 for Wyndham and 2 for Chevrolet in the third period.
Wow.
So it was totally one-sided. Once Chevrolet got behind and tried to pass, it was not pretty. So I think Wyndham and Portland played a really close game. So I wouldn't be surprised that next week that's going to be a heck of a tilt for the Northern Division title.
And we plan on having that game for you, probably on AM 1240 would be my guess there. And Z1055, of course you can listen online at Z1055.com. We'll send you and Mr. Haley down there again.
That'll be fun.
It's not often that our announcers get game balls.
Yeah, you get a game ball for being in attendance.
I mean, that's not bad.
It was nice to have him back. He knows his football, and his grandson was a star at Wyndham. They love him down there, and it was nice to see how comfortable he felt being back in the saddle.
I figured it was good to get him in there. You know what I mean? He's missed a lot of the year, so it's good to see him down there. And
it's interesting. I've had a great fall because, as you know, Gus LeBlanc and I are personal friends, and he did a great job. I thought
no name droppers here, though. We don't do any name dropping.
He was really comfortable. I thought he did a great job.
No, he really did, and everybody that you brought on this year has been pretty good. You find people. It's good because I run out of people. So I mean. I keep adding more games, and I'm like, oh wait, I need to find announcers. And then you got to get walking pneumonia, and then it's just you're still trucking through it though, man. You're doing
working
it
through.
And then I got to rest you up. I can only give you a couple weeks off before I have you go out and do basketball. So it's a never-ending cycle. I'm a slave driver. What are you gonna do? Winthrop, Monmouth, and Oak Hill are playing a regional semifinal right now for high school football. It is 6-2. Oak Hill with the lead at halftime. We'll take a break, and we'll have more. Mr. Wing and Mr. Boutwell coming up. Steve Flynn will join us in the second half for color analysis. You're listening to Maine's Pure Country, WOXO.
I think you'll find Oak Hill's pretty damn nervous right now.
Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change the subject. Has it admit they probably don't have enough. That's why State Farm agent Mike Alden in Winthrop focuses on how the benefits of life insurance actually live on by asking people to think in terms of life without having to sell the house, insurance, or life without having to give up college, insurance. Find out how the benefits of life insurance can live on for your family. Call State Farm agent Mike Alden in Winthrop at 395-2168 and put the life back in life insurance.
1188 is what you buy a brand new car for at Emerson Chevy. Equipped, not stripped, AC, automatic, power windows, and much more. How about an LT Sonnet for $1488? Four-door sedan. Power equipment. Got a 4x4 Silverado double cab on your mind? Blackout edition for $245 a month. See Emerson for details. Over 300 cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. Buy hassle-free at Emerson Chevy. Call drive. Just make sure to do it. At Emerson Chevy, Route 4.
Hey, Maddie, that reminds me. Do you still have a hotspot for me? Because I don't have one.
I have to go down this week and test which one works at Bitsy. So, there may be a hardwire down there too.
They have one. I don't know if we're going to be in that section. That's the only thing.
Well, I've got the long enough Ethernet cable where I can run it around. So, we'll dig and figure it out.
Who's the AD at Portland now?
Rob O'Leary.
O'Leary. See, the kid before Conley was a friend of mine, so that was nice of him.
He's a nice guy. Come back. Welcome back. High school football action for you here on Maine's Pure Country, OXO. You are listening to Oak Hill and Winthrop Monmouth play a little regional football, or the regional semifinal football action. Oak Hill leads at the half 6-2. Any surprises from around the state last night?
Oh, from around the state.
Yeah.
Well, I knew the Skowhegan Brewer would be a tough ball game. Brewer looked great all year, and then last week they lost.
Right.
And or 2 weeks ago, and so they went into Skowhegan and they scored late and went for two. You got to give the coach credit. 11 seconds left, he went for two. That's called big ones, and they won the game for them.
It did. It did.
My best friend texted me this morning. He said it was an unbelievable game, really good up and down. That surprised me a little bit. I thought at home that Skowhegan might win that. Other than that, Bangor certainly wasn't a surprise against Portland. How about you? Anything that jumped out? Wyndham. I expected it to be closer.
I thought Wyndham blanking Chevrolet was a little bit surprising. I was surprised that Deering kept it as close with Bonnie Eagle as they did.
Yeah.
I was surprised that MCI laid 70 on somebody.
Oh, I know,
I mean,
boy.
That's a lot of points. 76?
Yeah, I don't like that.
76-27? Yeesh. So MCI will face Mattanockhook next week. I'm sure that'll be quite the game.
They always have a really big physical team, Mattanockhook.
Surprised Lisbon, you don't think of a Coach Moynihan team winning with a big pass play, but they sure did last night.
I saw the game. I did the game with Ryan Palmer, Lisbon at home against Dirigo, and Dirigo won, but at the end of the game, Lisbon came back throwing the ball, and Dirigo didn't have an answer, but they were too far behind. So I'm not surprised at that. I thought Dirigo would win at home, though.
Have you found around the league this year, or at least what I've been watching for the last couple of years, if you're able to just make and complete a basic pass, that you're able to gain yardage simply because a lot of the defensive backs, I don't think are able to practice against really strong passing offenses?
Yeah, I think pass defense is probably the hardest thing to teach, and it takes the most time, and coaches don't have it. And so they try to play three deep, and when teams spread out four receivers, you can't cover them all with three deep. So you got to do something different, and they get in trouble.
I've seen that around the league this year where a lot of these third, fourth, and longs, you're still watching them get completed, and you're like, sheesh, just, it's got to be something in there. And, and I saw it on a lot of different teams this year. It's not just one or two teams. It's on, even on some of the top teams, they're allowing those big plays, and almost feel like pass defense is becoming a lost art.
Wyndham only threw the ball 4 or 5 times, but they're all completed.
Yeah.
Wide open. So
that's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Well, I'll let you get back to monitoring the broadcast, making sure we're on the air and stuff. Thank you very much. Getting random numbers that we don't know, so that's always good. Coach Wing keeping us up to date. Of course, you'll be able to hear him and Coach Haley on Friday night as Wyndham and Portland square off for the Eastern, is it the Northern A title?
Northern.
Yes, the Northern A title. Good Lord. And on Z105.5 and AM 1240, that'll be Friday night, 6:30 pregame there on those stations, also online at mbr.org. We will have the second half in 2 minutes here on 92.7 OXO. It's 6-2 Oak Hill over Winthrop Monmouth. I know. Welcome back. High school football on Maine's Pure Country OXO. Matt Boutwell and Steve Flynn with you here. Coach Wing joined us at the pre and the halftime. I want to thank him for doing that today. Try to save the man's voice. He's got 3 more games to do this year. He's got to get through them. He's got to do play-by-play for at least 2 of them.
We got a lot of football left this year.
Yeah, you gotta manage the carries. It's like how the Mets tried to do with Matt Harvey. You gotta limit those innings.
You've heard of a pitch count. This is a voice count.
Right. This is
how many plays can you call?
It's a word count.
Word
really.
count.
It's
I like
a word
it.
count.
I like it.
that. I think that's helpful. I think that'll help some folks.
Second half of play. Time to shuffle up and deal here. See what you can come up with at halftime. We all know that the best coaches make the right adjustments and at the right time, and halftime lends a very good opportunity to do that offensively. As Coach mentioned at halftime, a little bit out of character offensively for the Raiders, and they'll kick it away to start the second half.
Winthrop Monmouth had some big pass plays that just fell off fingertips in the first half. You wonder if that trend's going to continue. And with Oak Hill, a little bit of double wing in the first half, went away from the option, as Coach Wing mentioned. So we'll see if they go back to basics here in the second half, only up 4. That's going to be fielded by Scott, and he is going to get drilled back at the 30-yard line, or whatever Coach Doucette said at halftime worked for at least that moment.
Cruz Poirier on the tackle that time. Just kind of faced up Scott, wrapped his arm around him, and brought him to the ground. Ramblers now for their first offensive set here of the second half.
They trail by 4. They get a safety defensively. That's the only 2 points of the game. They missed a field goal, boinked off the post. That's going to be a handoff to Scott, little trap play. That's going to gain about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7, almost to the 35-yard line. We'll call it the 34.5 if you really want to be specific.
Anytime you've got an option quarterback like this, what you want to try to do is really force the hand of the quarterback, make him use his options. So nobody's thus far has got a pad on Ingram. He's rolled out a few times. They're not concerned about him rushing, but they're not making him pay for that play fake.
11:20 remaining in the third quarter. Ingram back to pass, throws. That is going to be complete. It's going to be enough for a first down. Yet another pass completion by Bennett Brooks, and looks like Tony Easton and Stanley Morgan out there. It's like he only has eyes for one receiver out there, Stevie.
Well, there's Levi Buto on the coverage that time, and Brooks did a nice job of coming back to the football and then curling around the defender to pick up the first down. Really good field where he knew where he was, knew where he needed to get to. Buto just didn't have an answer, couldn't get there quick enough.
See if Winthrop Monmouth starts mixing in the run with the pass here. That's going to be a handoff. That's going to go to Brown. Brown has been having luck all day running up the middle, and that play, no different. That's going to be a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 for the Ramblers.
Ramblers have definitely picked up their tempo here in the second half, coming out a little bit quicker to the line of scrimmage. I say that, and they'll get deliberate.
Of course, it's how that works. Totally how it works. Under center. They send a man in motion, and there'll be a false start. Somebody moved too quickly. Beautiful crowd today. That'll move him back 5 yards. So instead of 2nd and 2 or 2nd and 3, you're going to have 2nd and 8. Yeah, I didn't know that one either. I thought it was false start. That's just me. Handoff is going to be Scott. He's going to sweep it off to the right side. He's going to get rid of one tackler, but he's not going to get rid of the other. He gets out to the 45-yard line. That's where he'll be stopped. Gain of 1. It'll be 3rd and 7 for Winthrop Monmouth.
It was Dalton Tarian on the tackle that time, and he very angrily wrestled Scott to the ground and a little hung up as he was trying to step over him.
It's going to be a fake. Ingram's going to throw it. He has a man, and it's complete. That's going to be Bennett Brooks. He's going to get down the sideline to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5, and he is knocked out of bounds at the 4-yard line by Dalton Therrien. But finally, one of the big pass plays that Winthrop has been waiting for went through, and they're in business, 1st and goal at the Oak Hill 4-yard line.
It was Colby Spencer on the coverage, and he went for the pick. That's what happened. Brooks was open, and Spencer tried to jump in front of the play. Instead of make a play on the wide receiver, he made a play on the football. And as he missed it, all Brooks had to do was turn around and run. Therrien able to save the touchdown. Nice hustle that time by the senior.
Ingram under center sends a man in motion. He's going to hand it off to Brown, and he's going to get nowhere. Going to lose 2 on that play. Plenty of Raiders in there knifing the gap on that one.
Coach mentioned at halftime how tough it is to teach pass defense at this level. You don't get a whole lot of passing offenses that throw the ball as much as Winthrop has here, especially in such a close period of time.
Wind is starting to pick up. Handoff is going to be to Scott. He's going to knife it through the middle. And he's going to get down to about the 3-yard line, it looks like. Make it the 2. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line here for Winthrop. They trail 6-2 with 8:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter to Oak Hill.
Staunch defense on the run here up the middle, but susceptible to the pass and the outside rush.
And you're going to have a flag down, so no matter what happens here, I think that play was blown dead at the start.
That'll be a false start. I don't think everybody was set for the Ramblers.
Ramblers have been trying to hurry it up when they get to the line. And
I feel like they could have made that call a couple of times. They haven't, so not sure what the confusion is.
Coach Doucette is imploring his players to do something that they're currently not doing.
And they're asking, it is a false start against Winthrop, Monmouth, so they'll go back 5 yards. Going to make it 3rd and 7. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 7. Can't imagine they're running here.
Ingram under center. Back to pass. He's rolling right. He's looking. He's looking. He's going to run it himself. He's going to head towards the end zone. He's going to get knocked out at about the 2-yard line. It's going to be 4th and goal from the 2. And let's see if Winthrop decides to kick this thing again or if they try to go for the touchdown. Did not do so well in their last field goal attempt.
It was Jonah Martin that made the tackle, saving the touchdown that time, following down the line. They wanted to have Brooks run a drag route, but he got tripped up in the end zone. Ingram didn't have anywhere to go with it. I don't see Tyler Cody, so they're going to go for it here.
Ingram back to pass, has a man open in the end zone. It's too high for Scott, incomplete. He had him open, but it was too high, and Oak Hill will turn them away on 4th and goal with 8:20 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Huge defensive stand there for the Oak Hill Raiders.
Everybody was trying to pay attention to pads as well as Brooks, and that left Scott wide open in the end zone. Nobody around him, but Ingram just not able to put it in there.
Starting to see that a lot from the high school quarterbacks. They're really good at throwing deep. They're really good at throwing, darts. But taking the touch off it when the guy's 5 or 6 yards away, that's the real, challenge sometimes.
Got to get off the football here if you're Oak Hill. Last time in this position, you surrender to safety.
And they're going to put Therrien in the shotgun on this one, and he's going to be by himself, so he's just going to run it to the left.
False start.
And now they're going to get backed up because they had people running in motion. So that's going to move them back to the 2-yard line, and it will be 1st and 12 from their own 2-yard line.
Be half the distance to the goal. Not a very costly penalty in terms of field position, although he's a little bit deeper in the end zone. Looked like Therrien was the guy who gave it away, started moving left a little early.
Just heard the crowd say if they can't hear it in Monmouth, it's not too loud.
Yeah, isn't that true?
First and 12 for Oak Hill. Terrian in the shotgun. Looks like he's changing the play at the line. He's going to keep it. He's going to rush it himself off the right side. He's going to break through on one set of tackles, and he's going to get up to the original line of scrimmage for a gain of 2. Be second and 10. Clock ticking. 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 6-2. Oak Hill still leads.
Terrian checking the play with Coach Doucette.
Terrian is going to roll out to his left this time. He's going to throw it off his back foot, and it was almost intercepted. That was a dangerous pass thrown against his body. Batted away there by number 28, Antonio Miucci, and that almost ended up in the hands of number 24, Bennett Brooks.
Yeah, he threw into 3 or 4 ramblers that time, looking for Martin. A couple of receivers that he had, but going to his left-hand side, we see it at high school quite a bit. It's really tough to ask him, going away from his non-dominant side, to square up and make a hard throw down the field. Terrian's done much better rolling out to his right.
Terrian will have Buto with him in the backfield. Back to pass. Looking, under pressure. He's going to have to escape. He's going to rush it out, try to get out of the end zone. Instead, he's going to throw it out of the end zone. That's going to be intentional grounding, and that's going to be another safety. And another 2-run single here by Winthrop gets him within 2. 7:30 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, it was intentional grounding. They had Dalton about 2 yards deep in the end zone, and he just didn't know what to do. He knew that he didn't want to be brought down in the end zone, so just tried to throw it away, but no receiver in anywhere near, and you just don't see those kind of mistakes. That's intentional grounding in the end zone, so they'll get a safety, their second safety. That's going to make it 6-4. Don't see this in high school ever.
Well, we wanted a close game.
We've been looking for a close game.
We found one.
Folks, if you didn't want the 34-point blowout like that we've had all year long, we've got you a close game here today.
At the half, Winslow leads MDI 14-0. MDI will receive the second half kickoff to start.
Oak Hill crowd is silenced. This is a team that has not lost a game since a playoff loss in 2012 to Dirigo. Long time, 18 consecutive here. On the line, still in the lead, 6-4, 7:30 to go in the third quarter.
Kick is away. It'll be fielded there by Scott. He's going to break it up the middle. He's going to cut back to the 35, and he'll get stopped there. He'll be upended by number 24, Brian Thorpe. And the Raiders defense now only has a 2-point lead. Winthrop Monmouth looking to get into the end zone.
Tell you, Scott paid for that run. There were 2 or 3 guys that really delivered a pretty good hit. Looked like Colin French at the end, the freshman. Laid the hammer down.
Ingram under center. Brown is the back behind him, and he's going to hand it off to Brown. Brown's going to bowling ball inside the 30 down to the 28-yard line. Gain of 7.
Brown taking down number 12, Matt Strout.
Second down and 3. That'll be a handoff, and a little bit of a collision there on the run, and might have made a little bit of a difference there, as number 32 for Winthrop, that's Dustin Tripp, ran into his quarterback, Ingram. He may still have enough for the first down, though, or it's going to be inches short.
It's like it'll be 3rd and 1. Just shy of it.
Ramblers carry by number 32, Dustin Tripp.
And you're going to have a timeout. No, you're going to have a run, excuse me. They're going to get it for the first down.
Just barely.
Just all you need to do there when you want to get it dove forward.
Alec Brown just able to get about an elbow past that first down line. And so far here in the second half, the Ramblers have had fairly easy time moving the ball against the Raiders' front.
They're right back up to the line. They hand it off to Brown again on the quick hit. Gets inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line.
Carry by number 40, Alex Brown. Tackle made by number 75, Garrett Kyle.
Steady mix of different guys. Credit to the Ramblers' offense. They've really used a mixture of different guys. They've used Brooks. They've used Scott. Ingram's done a nice job distributing the football. And Alec Brown done a nice job consistently in the run game.
2nd and 7. That's going to be a handoff up the middle. That's going to gain more yardage inside the 15 and down to the 14-yard line. That's going to be, once again, Tripp, Scott, and Brown typically running the ball here for Winthrop, and they're finding some success. It's now going to be 3rd and short. They got to get to the 12-yard line for a first down here. Winthrop Monmouth trails Oak Hill 6-4. Winner of this one will face Lisbon next week. It's going to be just short. The Vuvuzela's in full effect.
I hear a cowbell. I don't see it.
There's a cowbell down there, and there's one over on the left-hand side. There's a Vuvuzela right here to our right.
No cowbell within 2 or 3 feet of us, which is good.
5:34 remaining in the third quarter. 6-4 Oak Hill with the lead. 3rd and 1. Handoff. That's going to go up the middle, and I believe it's going to be enough for a first down.
Yeah.
That's going to be Tripp. Gain of 2, and that's all they needed. It'll be first down at the 11. It'll be 1st and 10. They can get a first down if they get down to the 1.
I play again, and that time just using Alex Brown to see if they could key some of the backers. If you got to guess between Brown or Tripp, you're definitely going to guess Brown. He's hurt you a little bit more today.
Ingram under center, sends a man in motion out to the left. It's going to be Brown up the middle. He's going to rumble through, and he is going to be just short. His knee's going to be down at about the 2-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 2-yard line. And it's going to be 2nd and 1 from the 3.
Ramblers have passed out of that formation a couple of times here today, and I think that's exactly what Oak Hill expected. Spread it out a little bit, and that opened up the middle of the field for Brown.
Handoff, Brown back up the middle. He's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Ramblers.
Touchdown, Ramblers.
They've been knocking all afternoon, and they weren't able to get through. This time the door finally opened. They now lead 10-6 with 4 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And you can hear a pin drop all the way to Uncle Moe's Diner.
Impressive drive that time by the Ramblers, and the junior Alec Brown doing a nice job running right up the middle of the field. And couple of yards in a cloud of dust that time, able to put 6 points on the board, and now Winthrop will go for 2, I believe. I do not think they're going to kick the PAT here, Maddie. I think they are going to try the 2-point conversion.
I believe they will as well.
And that is the formation.
Looks like they're going to go shotgun here. Back to pass is Ingram. He looks out to his left. Now he's going to throw it to his right, and that's going to be picked off. Cannot be returned. Nice interception by Dylan LaJoy, by number 10, Dalton Terrian, but does not get to go for the 2 points. 4:36 remaining in the third quarter. It's 10-6. Oak Hill leads Winthrop Monmouth. We'll be right back on OXO.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the kickoff. You can get your 50-50 tickets out, please. 50-50 tickets. Winner's going to take home $380.50. Once again, please get your 50-50 tickets out. Winner will take home $380.50. We'll have the number after the return. Kicking off the Ramblers, number 36, Tyler Cody. Back to return for the Raiders, Spencer, Gilbert, and Utah.
4:36 remaining in the third quarter. It is 6-0 here on 92.7 OXO. Excuse me, 10-6 that Oak Hill now trails Winthrop Monmouth. That kick goes out of bounds inside the 15-yard line, and I assume Winthrop Monmouth is going to be made to kick that one again after the Brown touchdown run.
Illegal procedure, ball went out of bounds.
Nope.
All right, winning.
They are going to go ahead and take it out at the 35.
All right.
And that's where they're going to start.
99551.
Let's see who won the 50-50 ticket. The lady in front of me did not win it as she just threw it over her shoulder. She's like, that's not me. 10-6. Oak Hill trails. Winthrop Monmouth playing a great game so far. Terrian in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the near side left. It's going to be handed off up the middle. And they're not going to gain a lot of yards there as Buteau gets met after a gain of 2. And right now the Ramblers, they're feeling it.
Well, Brown's done a nice job on the offensive side, and I tell you, he's doing a heck of a job on the defensive side as well from the linebacker position, stepping up to make a big hit that time on Buteau.
Terrian's going to run it himself. Instead of running the option, he's just going to bounce it outside. He's going to get past the 40 out to the 41-yard line. You had Andrew Pads out there claiming he was held, but looked like a fairly clean block.
So Pads is actually not his last name.
What is it?
It's a I believe it's a Polish name with lots of Z's and vowels.
Pause.
Like Pads is I'm not even gonna try.
It's a 4-letter name. We can't be butchering it that badly. 3rd and 3 out to the right side. Terrian's going to throw it. Incomplete. He passed that one out to the sidelines for Gilbert. It got batted away by Ingram. Looked like Terrian might have had the first down if he'd ran for it. Instead went for the throw and it got batted away.
I like to see him rolling out to his right-hand side. He's done much better with that. Had a receiver open, just couldn't deliver it down the field.
Hadziorko, I guess.
Sure.
He'll be kicking. Buteau will kick it. Nice punt. And that'll take a bounce for Winthrop. And it'll go back to the 40-yard line. And then you get a special teamer that gets crunched by his own man, Adam Mooney. And ain't nothing going right for the Raiders right now. They're down 10-6, and Winthrop Monmouth will take over down 4. Up 4. With 3 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Well, we talk about all the weapons that Oak Hill comes into this game with, and so many weapons, but if you're thinking defensively in terms of how can you stop the Ramblers, you got to stop Alec Brown. If you stop him, well, there's Bennett Brooks and Matt Ingram really doing a good job.
That'll be another handoff there, and that'll be Brown for a gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
Ramblers carry by number 40, Alex Brown.
Coach Doucette trying to fire up his defensive unit here.
Here comes Scott. He's going to follow his blockers. He's going to get a first down. Down to the 46-yard line of Oak Hill.
Ramblers carry by number
Gain of
7,
10.
First down, Winthrop on this.
Tell you, whatever coaching staff for the Ramblers dialed up at halftime, they have come out here in this second half of football and absolutely dominated. They are walking up and down the field right now. Oak Hill just doesn't have much of an answer.
Another handoff is going to be Scott. He's not going to gain any yardage, and there's going to be a holding penalty as well. All sorts of Oak Hill players on that tackle, Guile being one of them. Also number 77, Austin Goucher.
It is a hold against the offense, so they'll move back 10 yards.
Oak Hill will be very happy to see that.
Oak Hill hasn't been able to slow the offense very much, but the referees did that time.
Or they did as well, or they did it to themselves, depending on how you look at it.
True. Self-inflicted.
Personal responsibility and accountability. First and 20 for the Raiders. They're going to hand it off to Brown. And this is where, if you're the Ramblers, you're getting into trouble. Because when you have first and long, and most of your offense during the day, the successful offense, has been running the ball.
Brian Thorpe doing a nice job shooting a gap that time into the backfield, wrapping up Brown early. That's the key. Early contact and then take away his momentum. Once he gets 3 or 4 steps rolling, he's like a bowling ball. Very Allstott-ish.
Second and 16. Ingram back to pass, has a man, almost intercepted. It was intended for number 24, Bennett Brooks. Jonah Martin almost had a pick, and he had nothing but green grass and hopes and dreams in front of him.
I'll tell you, Ingram has made a couple of very risky throws out to the edge. And you wonder whether or not those defensive backs are starting to think about the pick six more than just stopping the play. Ingram better be careful if he wants to keep testing those waters.
2 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It's 10-6. Winthrop Monmouth with the lead. Pass, and that's going to be incomplete. Just off the outstretched hands of Andrew Pods, which is short for something that's not on the roster. Incomplete, 4th and 16, and Winthrop Monmouth's going to have to punt. Once again, Steve, they were inches away from another big completion.
Well, they had the pattern open. They had the receiver open. Pads was wide open, and Spencer seemed to lose sight of him a little bit. Ball just overthrown, and that's going to force Winthrop to punt here.
Cody's going to punt it. He had a beautiful punt in the first half that actually set up a safety. 2 safeties for Winthrop Monmouth today.
Be a
and
false
now you're going to
start.
have a false start. That'll push him back another 5 yards. And back deep for Oak Hill is number 8, Darren Bailey.
Lined up off sides, Nate Scott was. He's pleading with the official. I asked you, and he never got the okay. Lined up in the neutral zone.
Yep. Now he's all set. 4th and 21. Cody back inside the 30. Snap is away. Good kick. It'll be fielded at the 25. That'll be Bailey. He's going to cut it back. He's going to bounce it down the left side. If he can get through this set of tackles, he should be okay. But he gets out at the 37-yard line. Could not turn the corner and get upfield. Still a positive play there for Oak Hill, and they could use it right now, down 4 with 2:05 remaining in the third quarter.
Got to start building on something here. You're well within reach of this game. It's only a 4-point game, but time is ticking away. You've only got 2:05 to go here in the third quarter. Something has got to break loose here for the Raiders. And I got to imagine it's going to start with number 10, Dalton Terrian. Been contained for the most part here in the second half. Haven't gone to the pass as much. Haven't had as many opportunities either.
Set a man in motion. Terrian's going to run it himself. He runs it off the left side. He's going to cut it out past the 40, out to the 41.
And finish the run with an exclamation point. I'll tell you, Terrian's coming up the left-hand side, and looked like big number 83, Ben Ames, a senior receiver and defensive back for the Ramblers, tried to get in Terrian's way. He lowered his shoulder and jacked him up pretty good.
Tell you one thing I really liked that I saw in that play, Austin Goucher telling his teammates that are on the sidelines to get away so that they didn't get a 15-yard personal foul penalty.
Smart.
Don't see a lot of kids with that type of awareness at this level. Great player there by Goucher. Second and long, Terrian's going to run it himself, and he's going to have more than enough for the first down, out to the 48-yard line. Gain of 6. He's starting to get a little chippy out here right now. And number 69, Jack Vickerson, limping off the field here for Winthrop Monmouth. It's like a hobble limp. It's like he's got a little cramp behind the knee there.
Looked like Jonah Martin might have rolled an ankle as well.
1 minute and 35 seconds remaining in the third quarter. It is 10-6. Winthrop Monmouth leads Oak Hill. Winner of this one will face Lisbon next week. Terrian in the shotgun gets everybody all set. He's going to run it up the middle himself, and they found something. He gets into Winthrop territory down to the 45-yard line. It'll be a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3 for Oak Hill.
Tell you what they found is a nice job of blocking up front by the big boys. Oak Hill doing a nice job getting off of the football, firing off, establishing the line of scrimmage. It all starts with the big center in the middle, Garrett Guile, 5'11", 208.
Jonah Martin getting looked at on the sidelines, as you mentioned. Still looking at him. Tarian almost got Winthrop Monmouth offside. Instead, he's going to hand it off. That's going to be number 20, Buto. He's going to get plenty of yardage. Down to the 40 and another first down, gain of 5.
Now you got the fans back in it. Now you got that rhythm. You feel like things are starting to move in your direction, and you can see right away Raiders playing with a lot more confidence. Just what you need.
Well, I haven't been able to use this one in a while. Rhythm is a dancer, so right now it's dancing the way of the Oak Hill Raiders. They're down 4. Winthrop Monmouth leads. 23 seconds and counting remaining in the third quarter. Tarian's going to rush it off the left side. He's going to get out of bounds inside the 35, down to the 34-yard line. It'll be a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd and 3 again for the Raiders.
Tell you, they keep running to the short side of the football field, and this is what they should have been doing all game long.
That's what Coach Wing just told me. He goes, this is what they always do. What are you waiting so long
Got to
for?
stick to with what got you here.
Tarian in the shotgun. He's got Buto right next to him. Almost draws Winthrop Monmouth offside again. Buto tries to make a cutback and lost his footing. He'll actually lose about a half a yard. It'll make it 3rd and 3.
Moving to his right-hand side, Buto tried to plant his left foot, dig vertically. Just didn't have it. Turf slipped out from underneath him, so he went right down.
I think he'll actually give him a about no game. And there's a clock issue. The clock didn't start, and it should actually be stopped. That should be the end of the quarter.
Should be.
Clock
We'll
never
see whether or
started.
not they run it off here.
He's got enough room in there. He should be able to turn it off and on.
He's got his own suite.
He's got his own space. Plenty of room. That's and this will be the end of the third quarter. An unconventional way to end the third quarter. We'll have fourth quarter action in just a moment here from Oak Hill High School. We'll see if they can come back. They trail Winthrop Monmouth 10-6. You're listening on Maine's Pure Country, OXO.
You know, Jeff Mertzel, that's his father.
Oh, is that Jeff's dad? I never knew that.
Over 300 cars, trucks, and SUVs to choose from. Buy hassle-free at Emerson Chevy. Call, click, or drive. Just make sure that you arrive and find new roads at Emerson Chevy, Route 4, Center Street, Auburn, or emersonchevy.com.
Welcome back. Start of the fourth quarter. Oak Hill is driving. It's going to be 3rd and 4 from the 34-yard line. They got to get to the 30-yard. Actually, make that, 3rd and 4 from the 34-yard line of Winthrop Monmouth. Winthrop Monmouth leads 10-6 here to start the fourth quarter. Matt Boutwell, Steve Flynn with you on the call. Coach Wing's been joining us for pre and halftime, and also yelling at us in between segments.
And tidbits, that's right.
Tidbits, it's been good.
Tidbits from Coach Wing.
Got us jersey names and, people running on the roster. It's great. Tarian in the shotgun. I'm going to assume this is 4-down territory. Tarian back to pass, looking, has a man, he's open in the end zone! That's going to be completed at the 5. Touchdown, Raiders. Connor Nilsson split the defense, and the Raiders retake the lead.
Right call at the right time and perfectly executed by this Raiders offense. Tarian rolling out to his right-hand side, and Nilsson snuck behind the defensive backs. They were expecting rush all the way. Tarian delivered a nice ball into the end zone, and Oak Hill back on top.
12 to 10. 11:52 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Raiders needed that one. They hadn't scored in a while. Seemed like all the momentum was over on the Ramblers side of the field.
Looks like they're going to try to kick it here.
They will try to kick it. That'll be Steve Gilbert with Tarian holding.
On to attempt the extra point, number 15, Steven Gilbert.
Snap is down, kick is up, it is high,
Get
it
there.
is good! That was the Tecmo Super Bowl kick if I've ever seen one. 13 to 10, Oak Hill with the lead. We'll be right back on OXO. Welcome back. 11:52 remaining in the fourth quarter. It is 13 to 10. Oak Hill leading Winthrop Monmouth.
People look at this score and say 13-10. Football game, right?
Right.
Yeah. No, it was 6-4 at one point,
It was
folks.
6-4 at one point. It's been a very close football game, and that's what you're going to get in Southern D. Bunch of teams that are all really good and enjoy beating the heck out of each other.
Back to return for the Ramblers.
Buto's kick is away. That's not going to go out of bounds. Scott will field it at the 20. Out to the 30. Busted up the middle to the 35 to the 45. And he's going to carry some tacklers out to the 45-yard line. That is where Winthrop Monmouth will take over in great field position. But they're now down 13 to 10 with 11:44 remaining in the fourth quarter. Let's see if this Raiders defense stiffens. Last time, Winthrop was stopped by a penalty.
That's right, penalty, and they couldn't overcome it. And right now, if you are the Raiders, you've got to force the hand of the Ramblers a little bit. You know they're going to stick with a lot of Nate Scott and Alec Brown. Be mindful of the pass. Keep your guy in front of you.
That'll be a handoff to Scott. He's going to carry it off the right side, and he's going to get into Oak Hill territory and have more than enough for a first down inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line. Stops the clock with 11:38 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Tell you, they're taking advantage of the fact that as soon as that offensive unit gets up to the line of scrimmage, they snap the ball very quickly. And that's taken Oak Hill off guard a couple of times.
Hand it off. That'll be Brown. He finds some running room. He'll get inside the 40 and down to the 38-yard line. It'll be a gain of 6. 2nd and 4 for Winthrop.
Wrestled down by Garrett Guile, grabbed him by the waist and twisted him into the ground.
This is where business is starting to pick up. Winter will face Lisbon next Saturday. Ingram under center, sends a man in motion. It's going to be Scott. Hands it off to Scott, who's going to run that sweep again. And this time he is not going to find yardage. Dalton Tarian cuts him off at the ankle, back at the 40-yard line. Be a loss of 2. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Ramblers.
They've done a nice job of getting a blocker out in front of Scott to take care of Tarian, and I think Tarian might have found something, a little workaround that's going to get him into the backfield, that time shooting the legs of Scott. Great tackle for a loss that time by Dalton.
3rd and 7. Ingram will hand it off to Scott, and he is going to go absolutely nowhere. Brian Thorpe had that play snuffed out before they even called it. Another loss of 2. It'll be 4th and 9 in Winthrop Monmouth. I think they're going to go for it.
They've picked up on something on that snap count or some of the blocking scheme because there's wide open lanes to get into the backfield. That time Thorpe shooting the gap. And another tackle for a loss.
You wonder if they might go with a little hard count here to try and draw him offside, make this a little bit closer, make it 4th and 3. It's 4th and 8 at the 42-yard line. 10 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Winthrop Monmouth going for it. Back to pass is Ingram. Got a man. It's open. It's Scott. It's complete. And it's going to be completed inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line. 17-yard completion. And apparently the Ramblers knew what they were doing there.
Colby Spencer had the opportunity to try to bring Scott down by the shoestrings. Looked like it might have been inside of that first down marker, but Scott able to wrestle free, get past the marker, and pick up a fresh set of downs.
Stops the clock with 9:51 remaining in the fourth quarter. The ball's at the Oak Hill 25-yard line. Ramblers trail 13-10. Brown up the middle. He'll get down to the 22-yard line, gain of 3.
Ramblers carry by number 40, Alex Brown, taken out by Martin and Turbo.
Yeah, the other guy Brown reminds me of a little bit is Mike Tolbert of the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Kind of that same sort of, it looks like he's constantly falling down, but all he's doing is gaining 3 yards every time he just falls.
Well, that's just it. He's always progressing the ball up the field. Every single time Brown touches it, very rarely is he tackled for a loss or a gain of only 1 or 2.
Another handoff.
Ball's out.
Stolen away! And I think that's going to be Oak Hill football.
It's got to be.
It has to be Oak Hill football. It is.
Dustin Tripp went through the line, and he just didn't protect the football, and it looked like maybe Turvo was the guy who wrapped his hands around it.
I think he's still on the ground, actually. He paid for it, that's for sure, but a big, big turnover.
Matt Stroud also credited with a big hit.
Good play by the Oak Hill defense. We'll take a break, so there's an injury timeout here. 9:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. Oak Hill leads Winthrop Monmouth 13-10. They'll have the ball when we come back here on OXO.
For over 75 years, Maine Family Federal Credit Union has provided local financing that is easy and hassle-free. From home improvement and home equity loans to personal and auto loans, heating fuel loans, and more. For all your financial needs, think local. Think Maine Family Federal Credit Union. Experience the feeling of family at Maine Family Federal Credit Union on Savannah Street, Lewiston, and Minot Avenue in Auburn, and online at mainfamilyfcu.com. Equal housing lender, NCUA member. Member eligibility required.
When there's a big game on the line, you want experience. OA Centers for Orthopedics is a team to count on. With 4 convenient locations in Brunswick, Portland, Saco, and Wyndham, you have a choice. Board certified, nationally recognized. That's OA. Experience in motion. Online at orthoassociates.com.
Kick off the season with great deals at Emerson Toyota. With a huge selection of new Toyotas, used Toyotas, and winter-ready Toyota trucks. Why go anywhere else? Emerson Toyota has all these plans and discounts and savings you need. That's the Emerson app. Get off the sidelines and join the team at Emerson Toyota today. Route 4 in Auburn, Maine. Emerson Toyota.
Life insurance is one of those subjects that make people want to change the subject, rather than admit they probably don't have enough. That's why State Farm agent Mike Alden in Winthrop focuses on how the benefits of life insurance actually live on by asking people to think in terms of life without having to sell the house, insurance, or life without having to give up college, insurance. Find out how the benefits of life insurance live on for your family. Call State Farm agent Mike Alden in Winthrop at 395-1118. Live the life back in life insurance.
Welcome back. 9:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. 13-10, Oak Hill with the lead. They just got the ball after a fumble. But number 56, Brendan Turvo, the senior, leaving the field. Steve, I assume you've got the binoculars out. Looked like it might have been a knee injury of some
Yeah,
type.
looks like a left knee, and I heard a little bit of fodder. He's a guy that's had some past knee troubles and a very tough kid. Doesn't go down very easily. It looks like he might have got that left knee twisted up at the bottom of the pile.
That's what happens when you're trying to scrap for that thing. 9:14 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's 13-10. It's Oak Hill football at their own 23-yard line. Ramblers had a great drive going until they turned it over. Terrian's going to run it himself off the left side. And he's going to get out over the 30-yard line, and I think he's going to have just enough for a first down. And if he'd broken that one more tackle, he's probably still running.
Tell you, Terrian has been lethal these last couple of drives. with the ball in his hands, allow him to make the decision, and he sees the field extremely well. Didn't use him very much in the first half, so it looks like the Ramblers might have peeled a little bit of their defensive scheme off of him. Now squarely focused back on number 10 for Oak Hill because he's all over this field.
Terrian under center sends a man in motion. He's going to run it off the left side this time, and he'll get tackled past the 35-yard line out to the 36. That'll be a gain of 2.
Raiders quarterback keeper by number 10, Dalton Terrian.
Maybe 3, make it 2nd and 7.
Again, Terrian running with a purpose. Very aggressive. He just seems to be running at a little, almost like he's put his little speed meter up a little bit. He's running with a little bit more intent, a little bit more aggression.
They're also doing a good job here of milking the clock. They know exactly when they can snap it. And you're waiting for the back judge to start the clock, or start the countdown. Snap to Terrian, he's going to look out to pass. He has a man wide open. It's going to be Nilsson at the 45. He's into Winthrop territory out at the 46-yard line.
Tell you, Nilsson is incredibly fast, and it was Nate Scott on the coverage. We've called Scott's name all day long offensively. He, that time, the defensive back responsible for covering Nilsson, but just couldn't keep step for step with him. I'll tell you, Connor is an incredibly fast kid. Very good footwork, ran a very clean pattern. Dalton able to find him out in the flat. Another first down for Oak Hill.
Stops the clock with 7:50 remaining in the fourth quarter. Oak Hill up 13-10 over Winthrop Monmouth. Winner of this one will face Lisbon next week. That's not much of a reward for winning this. Handoff is going to be to Buteau. He's going to get it up to the 41-yard line. Levi Buteau has been running the ball with abandon today, and that's a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 for the Raiders. More importantly, it gets the clock moving for him, and there's nothing the Raiders would like to do more here than end this drive with a touchdown and leave Winthrop Monmouth with very little time left on the clock.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit chippy out there after the play, so make sure nothing stupid, personal conduct fouls, anything like that. Maintain good line of scrimmage discipline.
Send a man in motion. Terrian will run off to the right, and then he's going to run out of bounds. And then you're going to have a flag and a 15-yard personal foul. That was thrown by the far side official.
Yeah, and I think it might have been precipitated by something else. It looked like we might have had, I will not be surprised to see offsetting penalties. It was Gavin Chassie down on the ground with one of the Winthrop defensive linemen. And I think what happened was Gavin might have got hit somewhere he didn't want to get hit. And on the there was already a flag for that play. And then on the retaliation, a second flag. So I think this is 2 different penalties. And I think they're going to offset.
Someone cue the Jeopardy music. Officials talking about it. 7:10 remaining in the fourth quarter. It's 13-10. Oak Hill with a lead over Winthrop Monmouth.
No, it's going to go against Oak Hill because they're talking to Alec Brown. They want an idea where they want to put the football.
Let's see it on both sides, ref!
I think you just heard what the Oak Hill fan base thought about it.
He's going to hear some more too, don't worry. The players are talking.
They declined the holding penalty, but the 15-yard penalty for the personal foul will set the Raiders back to the 44-yard line.
Boy, costly penalty, and we just got done talking about personal conduct, personal fouls, making sure you protect the football here. Always comes back to fundamental football, Matty. Yelling at the referees isn't going to get you anywhere at this point.
2nd and 20.
20 yards between you and a first down. Let's focus there.
2nd and 21, under 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Terrian's going to run it himself off the left side. He's going to avoid one set of tackles. He's going to turn the corner. He's going to get out to midfield, and they're going to actually mark him out at the 49-yard line, gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 16. And, you know, Steve, I don't want to get all quibbly here, but as you're trying to milk the clock when you're running outside and going out of bounds, you're stopping the clock.
Yeah,
it's kind of like giving Winthrop Monmouth that extra timeout.
Well, that gets back to just knowing where you are on the field and knowing what the situation is. And Terrian responsible for a lot out there, offensively and defensively. And I think at that point, instincts took over, and he just tried to jet out of bounds. my guess is Oak Hill's going to take a timeout here. And they do.
They will. 6:46 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's 13-10 Oak Hill. We will be right back on OXO.
Are you ready for the cold weather? Stevens Hardware and Rental in Savannah has England pellet stoves and plenty of wood pellets on hand for those cold days ahead. They also have a variety of snow shovels, salt, and to make your fall cleanup easier. Stevens has small excavators, tractors, log splitters, wood chippers, and they also rent equipment for all your hardware needs. Stop by Stevens Hardware and Rental. We believe.
Welcome back. 6:46 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Oak Hill Raiders lead the Winthrop Monmouth Ramblers 13-10. You're listening on 92.7 OXO. You can also listen online at mbr.org. You can also watch the video stream online at mbr.org. Matt Beltwell, Steve Flynn with you here. Coach Wing joins us pregame and halftime. I want to thank him for joining us today. Always good when somebody battles walking pneumonia and still comes in. I had to beat him off the broadcast with the stick. He was going to try to go all 4 quarters after calling play-by-play last night.
Yeah, not good.
No.
Rest and recover, Coach.
Rest and recover. It's all right. Third and 16. Tarian in the shotgun. Buteau is the back with him in the backfield. Everybody's set. Snap is away. Tarian rolls out to the right. He's looking. Has a man. Instead, he's going to run it himself, and he's going to run it into Winthrop territory up to the 48-yard line. That'll be a gain of 3. And Winthrop will come up from here.
Tarian a little slow to get up here.
Tarian was slow to get up, and I think he got another injury here as number 53 was taking a minute to get off the ground there, and he's played a great game today. Zach Wallace, who said his name quite a few times. He's just going to walk back off the field.
Only a sophomore, Wallace has made an impact defensively all game long. Him and Tarian both got a raw deal from that collision.
It's going to be 4th and 12. You assume Oak Hill will probably punt here to try to pin Winthrop Monmouth back in good position. They'll put Scott as the deep man. He'll be back at the 20-yard line. Actually, he's going to keep moving back to the 15. We'll see where he plants his feet. Looks like he's going to set it back at right at the 10-yard line. Buteau's going to punt. Jason Doucette just saw something, and Winthrop's going to have to take a timeout with 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Not sure what that was all about. Don't know if they had too many men on the field.
12 players on the field. They did. They did have 12 guys on.
We'll take a quick timeout, then we'll be right back with a punt here on OXO.
Anytime Fitness is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so no matter what your schedule is, you can come in, get your workout done, and get on with your day. Plus, Anytime Fitness has the most friendly and knowledgeable staff around to help you meet those fitness goals. For more information and a location near you, visit Anytime Fitness.
Welcome back. Timeout almost over. 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, and we've got a close one. Oak Hill leads Winthrop Monmouth 13-10. 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter here at Oak Hill High School. The winner will face Lisbon next Saturday. If Oak Hill wins, they'll host them here. If Winthrop Monmouth wins, they'll go to Lisbon. Either way, the game will be played on Saturday because that's what they do. Oak Hill taking a little extra time on the timeout here.
Well, it looked like Levi Buteau was going to punt, but as Tarian was off getting a little attention on the sideline, they called him back onto the field, and they're going to go for it here.
Interesting, 4th and 12 at the Winthrop Monmouth 48-yard line. They're going to go for it here with 6 minutes remaining. I wonder if they got something dialed up. They sent Gilbert in motion from the right to the left side. Now Tarian's calling out the blitzers. Gilbert running in motion. In place, of course, which is nice. Looks like they're going to wait for it. I think they're just trying to draw him off sides. And that's going to be a delay of game penalty. That's just going to give them a little bit more room to kick. or they're just going to call timeout.
Delay of game on the offense.
No, they'll call the delay of game. Better than to take the timeout there. Like Terrian was trying to catch. I think he was waiting for the right set to let that loose, and Winthrop never really fell for it.
Never gave him the right look, so he never had the ball snapped. Tried to audible a couple of different things and see if he could make them shift, but nobody really buying it. Wind picking up, temperature sinking here, folks. It's happening quick.
4th and 18, back at the 47-yard line of Oak Hill. Buto's kick is away. It's going to be fielded by Scott at the 20. He's going to run it to the right, cut it upfield, breaks a set of tackles, gets out past the 30, and out to the 32-yard line to the 33. That's where the Ramblers will take over. 5:49 remaining. They trail 13-10. And my guess is they're not going to be looking to tie it here.
Only 3 teams stayed within a 10-point margin this year with Oak Hill, Lisbon being one of them. Winthrop was another. Trying to think of who the third one was. I believe Maranicook. Not sure though.
That's going to be a handoff there. Scott's going to run it off the left side, and he almost fumbles a couple of times, but manages to hang on to it. Goucher ends up taking him down at the 40. It's going to be a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3. Clock will continue to run.
Tell you, if you're Oak Hill right now, you're thinking about trying to punch that ball loose, put your helmet right on the football if you can, and try to force a turnover.
Handoff is going to be to Brown. He's going to take that up the middle, and he's going to be just shy of a first down. I believe he's going to be about a half yard short. It'll be 3rd and short here for the Ramblers. Approaching 5 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Winthrop Monmouth trails 13-10. Coach Doucette's telling the backers to look for something.
Wants him to keep an eye on something for sure. Some contact down the field he doesn't like.
Hey, his knee was down about 2 yards back. Hey, can we have a conference about that? 3 feet back.
I'm going to go for a measurement.
Dear God, do you guys live in Winthrop? It's not the NFL. We're putting the football across the end zone, you know.
And apparently it's going to be enough for a first down. A fortuitous spot for the Ramblers. Even the crowd turning on each other here.
Yeah, that's what, sorry, lost me for a second there. I got caught in a little match here in the stands.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Ingram hands it off to Brown. He's going to gain 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Clock runs. 4:50 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Ramblers are down by 3.
That's as successful as the Raiders have been all game long at stopping number 7, number 5 in your program, number 7 on the field, Nate Scott.
Ingram hands it off to Scott. He sweeps it off the right side. He's going to break tackles, get into Oak Hill territory, down to the 49-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 7, and it's going to be 3rd and 3 for the Ramblers.
Boy, this has been Alec Brown's down and distance all game long. See whether or not they go to the junior captain here.
But they continue to stick with it. Ingram hands it off. It's going to be Brown, and he's going to get that first down. He's going to get to the 40. He's going to get just to the 45. I'd say the 45.5-yard line there. It's a gain of 3.5, and it was enough for their first down.
That forward progress brought him all the way to that 45, and just inside of 4 minutes to go in this game. Ramblers not playing with a tremendous sense of urgency.
They're not. You wonder if this is going to be their last drive.
I think they feel comfortable if they've got to go to the passing game with Brooks.
They send him in motion. They're going to run it with Tripp up the middle. That'll be a gain of 4. 2nd and 6. Clock continues to move. 3:30 remaining in the 4th quarter.
The inside, unless they get that quick snap count, fire off the ball quickly and catch Oak Hill off guard a little bit. Ramblers have not had much success running up the middle.
That'll be a pitch to Scott. He's going to get tackled. He's going to lose yardage. Back at the 45-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. And it's going to be 3rd and long.
Matthew Strout gouging into the backfield and grabbing an arm, hooking around Nate Scott and bringing him to the ground. That's going to force 3rd and 10. Great defensive effort that time by Strout.
Strout was stout on that play.
Ooh.
Occasionally, something comes out of the archives. 2:35 remaining in the 4th quarter. You wonder if Ramblers will take a timeout here if they're not liking the look. 3rd and 10 at the 46. Ingram back to pass. He rolls out to the right, looking. Under pressure, he's going to cut it back upfield. He gets to the 45, and he's going to get taken down by Guile at the 45-yard line. Gain of about a half a yard. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. It's 4th and 10 for the Ramblers.
No chance they're kicking it away. Ingram right over to the sideline to get the next play call. Going to be inside 2 minutes, well inside 2 minutes before they get back to the line of scrimmage, and I got to imagine they're going to throw a jump ball up here to Brooks. They've had his number dialed up all day long, and Spencer's got to be careful in the defensive backfield.
4th and 9. Ball just inside the Oak Hill 45-yard line. Ingram back to pass, looks, has a man, it's Scott, it's complete. And he breaks a tackle, gets down the sidelines. He's going to be down at the 20, at the 19-yard line. That's going to be a 26-yard pass completion on 4th and 9 with 1:34 remaining of the 4th quarter. Ramblers have new life.
And they're not hard passes, Matt. He's not throwing bullet passes. He's just kind of lobbing the ball out there, trying to put a ball up to go get. That time it was between Nate Scott and Dalton Therrien. Just as Scott collected it, Therrien hit him in the back. Scott hung on, able to get up the field.
1:25 remaining. The handoff is going to be to Scott. He loses his footing trying to cut it back. He's going to be lucky to gain anything. I think he was happy just to get back to the line of scrimmage there. 1:10 remaining in the 4th quarter. The clock is ticking. It's 13-10. Oak Hill with the lead, but the Ramblers are driving at the 19.
Boy, all the pressure right now sits on the defensive unit for Oak Hill. They have got to come up with a stop.
Winthrop Monmouth has absolutely no sense of urgency here. Ingram in the shotgun, Tripp next to him. He throws it out, and that's going to be batted away by Therrien, incomplete.
Boy, beautifully defended by Therrien, playing prevent coverage. About 10 yards off of the line of scrimmage, and as he saw the ball go up to pads out on the right side, broke on it, knocking it away. That is superb defense that time by Therrien.
43.3 seconds remaining. Oak Hill is going to take a timeout and talk it over. It's 3rd and 9. The ball's at the Oak Hill 19-yard line. With 43.3 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, we will keep it right here.
You leave the field
so
goal
there's no shenanigans.
out of your mind at this point. Field goal is out of your mind. You are thinking only a touchdown is going to beat you, so that's what you've got to prevent. Pressure becomes the key. Can you get pressure on Ingram in the backfield and force him to make a throw? If he sits back and is comfortable throwing, he's going to have a couple of guys to pick from.
Therrien almost had, he was probably about a half a step away there from an interception.
Yeah.
He's probably running that back the other way.
Yeah, he'd just about be there by now. Tell you, Coach Doucette takes every second possible out of those timeouts. Yeah, he really maximizes it for sure.
To 10, it's 3rd and 9. Ingram back to pass. He rolls out to his right. He throws across his body, incomplete.
That's it. Jonah Martin into the backfield with pressure on Ingram right in his face. Ingram felt the need to get rid of it quickly, and he did.
Garrett Guile almost had an interception and is now 4th and 9. Clock stopped with 39 seconds remaining.
Winthrop.
And now Winthrop Monmouth will take the timeout. 13-10. The Raiders lead the Ramblers here at Oak Hill High School. The winner will play next Saturday. If it's Oak Hill, it'll be played here. If it's Winthrop Monmouth, it'll be played in Lisbon.
The jump ball that they've thrown a couple of times here today, not an option where they're at the field. They don't have enough room to develop that play. So I think, if I had to guess here, they're going to take Brooks, line him up on the left-hand side, and roll him in a drag route across the field. See if he can't find an open spot somewhere within the coverage. And I think of it this way: you got to put the ball in the hands of your best receiver, and that's been Brooks. It's been Brooks all year long. Looks like we're about to see where this all falls out.
See what happens.
I am impressed that we made it through an entire Oak Hill broadcast with a stud like Dalton Tarian and 0 Roadhouse references.
Oak Hill hoping for their own Roadhouse here. Up by 3, 39 seconds left. It's 4th and 9. Back to passes Ingram. He lofts it into the end zone. And that's going to be incomplete or intercepted. I think they're going to call it an interception, but either way, Oak Hill takes over on downs.
Incomplete.
And that's going to do it.
But that will do it, and sure enough, it was Dalton Tarian. They tried to throw it out to the left-hand side to Bennett Brooks. Ingram just kind of floated it up there, didn't throw a very firm football. And Oak Hill is going to get out of this with a 3-point.
Welcome back. 34.2 seconds remaining here in the 4th quarter. It is 13-10. Oak Hill with the lead over Winthrop Monmouth. Oak Hill's just going to sit on it a couple of times. I don't know how many Oak Hills the Ramblers have. I think they have 1 left.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think they're just going to have to kneel on it one time.
And that's what they're going to do. And that is going to do it. The team's all pad helmets. And that's going to be all they need. Gutty game today by the Ramblers. 2 safeties, a touchdown. They had chances for much more. But the Raiders defense came up big when it mattered. And they got a touchdown late, well, early in the 4th quarter to get them to where they needed to go to.
Say, just a well-played game on both sides, and you can see it even as the time winds out. A lot of the starters out there kind of congratulating each other. Very respectful, hard-played game between these two teams.
13-10 is your final. Oak Hill beats Winthrop Monmouth. We'll take a 1-minute break. We'll come back with the post game, and we'll wrap it up here from Oak Hill High School. Again, your finals: Raiders over the Ramblers, 13-10. We'll be right back on OXO.
Spending time in, and that has exactly what you want, but you don't know where to start. Well, the people at Hammond Lumber Company's Kitchen, Bath, and Flooring Center suggest starting off with the way they see it, the most important step in building a finding a designer you feel comfortable with, one who truly understands what you want and who will be there for you throughout the entire project. The Hammond Kitchen designers are not only experts in the technical aspects of designing kitchens.
You can wait. I'm just going to do a very quick Bowman out. Yeah, I'm going to stop it right now.
So if you're looking to get started on the kitchen you want, start with the kitchen people at Hammond Lumber. Call 1-866-HAMMOND or go online to hammondlumber.com. 1-866-HAMMOND and hammondlumber.com.
Welcome back. Main Spear Country OXO, your final score: Oak Hill 13, Winthrop Monmouth 10. It was a great close game, just your typical Southern D battle. And next weekend, Oak Hill will take on Lisbon here. Should be on Saturday, and as we have more details, we'll let you know about broadcast for that. We'll let you know about broadcast for all the games for next weekend, because it's going to be another busy week. Again, your final score: Oak Hill 13, Winthrop Monmouth 10. You listen to this game on 92.7 OXO, and you watched it on NBR.org. We'll see you guys next Friday night for high school football. We'll let you know where we'll be all this week on the stations of Gleason Media. See you next time.